Funding for this program is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.
Our Town, the show about Rochester, learns about a school supply drive, and we catch up with Experience Rochester to hear about a new pass to explore local bars and restaurants. We also grab a frozen treat at a beloved ice cream shop and learn about a musical theater company. All that and so much more coming up next on Our Town, the show about Rochester. Coming to you from 125 Live in Rochester, Minnesota, Our Town. We are joined today by Sonja Sommerfeldt, here to tell us all about the United Way of Olmsted County's school supply drive. Welcome to Our Town.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us about the Running Start for School drive and how it got started?
Yes, so the Start for School backpack and school supply program allows us to distribute backpacks to Olmsted County students. We distribute about 3,000 backpacks, and we're set to do about 3,250, so we're adding some more this year. And I think it just got started out of a need for school supplies, just to help families kind of alleviate that burden on them. So
for sure, and that is a really big burden, and I'd love to hear a little bit about why things like backpacks and school supplies are such an important part of addressing some of the educational disparities we see in our community.
Yeah, so I think we all know, right, things like food insecurity, financial burdens on families, those can all pose stressors on students. When you think the average cost of a backpack and filled with the school supplies that they need, on average is going to be about $50. If you have 4 kids, that's $200. And although some in our community, that might not be a terribly huge amount of money, to someone like myself as a single parent, that can be quite a burden on families, and we know that can be a burden on families in our community. So we fight to support education in our community, and this is how we can kind of help to alleviate that stress on students so that they can show up for school with what they need and ready to learn.
Excellent. What are some of the specific supplies that you're looking for, and how can community members learn what those are and contribute?
So we actually, a couple years ago, we switched over, so it's all online. So we really like that process because it allows it to be a more equitable distribution of supplies through Olmsted County, because all of the supplies are going to be uniform. So it's a Runga drive. It's an online hosted drive. So people who want to donate can actually go on there, put a backpack in their cart, and purchase the backpack. So backpacks range anywhere from $8 for a preschool one up to right under $20 for a high school one. So again, considering, if you were to go pack that, yourself at a retail store, it's going to, average that $50. You can get it here for under $20. So yeah, you could give 3 preschool backpacks for $25.
Excellent, and that makes it easier for you on the other end, and of course the equitability factor as well.
Absolutely.
When will the drive start? And I know it's the end of the school year, so talking about school supply seems a little strange, but can you tell us about the timeline?
Yes, absolutely. So the drive will start June 1st, so Saturday, June 1st it'll start, and it will go through Friday, August 16th. So excellent. Yes, unless we meet our goal before that, which would be awesome. And
that would be awesome, but then people have
it will end sooner. Yes.
Excellent. And in terms of the supplies, you said 3,000 to almost 3,300 backpacks expected this year. How are those supplies distributed, and kind of where do they go? Are there certain schools that they go to, or certain communities?
Yes, pretty much any school in Olmsted County. We distribute to the schools, and then the schools distribute themselves. So we always tell families, check with your school. And some schools, it kind of depends. They'll put them in the resource rooms, or you'll talk to a counselor or principal to let them know and kind of receive a backpack that way. Some give them out at the open houses, right when school kicks off and school starts. We always tell families to let your school know, let a counselor know, let a principal or someone know, because then that way we know what the need is for every year, and so that we can try to accommodate as best we can how many backpacks are needed. It gives us a good idea. So even if you don't receive one this year, let your school know so that we know that you exist and that the need is there.
Excellent. Thanks so much. How can people continue to learn more about the drive and just all the wonderful things that the United Way of Olmsted County is doing?
Follow us on social media, and then our website as well. Our Runga Drive is up and running, but the drive will open June 1st, so you can start a team drive on there right now, but pledges won't be accepted until June 1st. But yeah, check out our website. Our Runga, it's runga.com/runningstart2024 is the online drive.
Awesome.
So.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all you do in the community.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Be sure to stick around. We have much more coming your way on Our Town. We hear what's new at 125 Live, and we also catch up with Experience Rochester and how they're working to make Rochester a destination for visitors. But up first, we learn about a musical theater company in this week's Our Culture segment.
We're Once and Future Classics Theater Company, and the title comes from an old book by T.H. White called The Once and Future King, and it's a fanciful tale of King Arthur, and the musical for Camelot was born from that book. So being we do classics, that name kind of fits us well, I think. Oh, the things you think of as classic literature are what we do, so we do Shakespeare, Moliere, and then also sometimes adaptations of famous novels like this one, the musical version of Three Musketeers. Sons of shame and sorrow will you cheer tomorrow. If there isn't already a musical version, sometimes we'll do an adaptation. Three Musketeers was written by Alexandre Dumas, and I think it's about in the 1870s when it's released, and it was incredibly huge. There was a time it was believed to be the most widely read book outside of the Bible in the whole world. There have been plays done of it, but we've been doing musicals, and so I adapted it directly from the novel. We follow the plot and whatnot, but of course we've added music, and the language is a little more modern. Therefore the humor hopefully is more accessible.
You're not much, but you're still better than the bloodthirsty, psychopathic, and suspiciously stinky Duke of Burgundy.
We are doing more of what I will call a build-your-own-adventure show, where Aaron has written the script and he's picked out music for the show, and then we are sometimes finding that music, sometimes arranging that music, and sometimes mixing multiple songs together to come up with a medley of tunes.
There is a tavern in the town,
Our theater company's been around for 8 years now. This is the beginning of our 8th season. We started with musical Midsummer Night's Dream back in 2016. We were so fortunate to get this facility here at Peace United Church. They were about to take out their old theater stage. They hadn't been using it. This wonderful theater facility was kind of saved by that, I guess.
We really spent quite a bit of time working together at other theaters, and there was a core group of us who worked together regularly, and we wanted to have the ability to really choose what it is that we wanted to do and what we wanted the theater company to look like, and that really is based on Aaron's vision and his longevity with theater and being in multiple different kinds of groups and different types of theater. We really focus on the retelling of classic stories and classic themes and be able to shape that how we want it to look.
The most fun thing about this is working with the actors. Casting is a great enjoyment, but then also watching people land the part and then grow from there.
We have people who come in who some have done theater with us for years. We have others who come in who've never set foot on a stage. And I feel like all of those individuals, from those who've done it forever to those who are just very new in that journey, all of them, we get to watch them grow.
Now, stay on the side, bumpkins.
So often I get to see things that I never even knew they could do. And sometimes we'll take a chance in casting and they'll just take it and run and make it something wonderful. And then there's that great excitement when you think you're hitting on something that's going to move the audience. If you think you can involve them, wrap them up in something.
I think that the thing that we have done really well is taking stories that people know and making them really accessible.
For more information about this story and other Our Town features, connect with us on Facebook, Twitter at KSMQ #OurTown, or ksmq.org/OurTown.
Hi, this is Danielle Till with Our Town Spotlight, where we share about happenings, fun things, organizations, businesses in Rochester. Here with me today is Jennifer Schoenfelder, and she is the program coordinator for 125 Live. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here, and
Yes.
we're talking all events.
Yes.
So lots happening at 125 Live and in the community. Can you share a little bit about what is going down?
We have a busy summer into fall. On July 3rd, we will have our annual 4th of July lunch and concert. And August 6th, we are partnering with the Rec Center for National Night Out, and we'll have many events, people here to celebrate that night. And at the end of October, we are celebrating our 8th anniversary, and we will have plenty of activities going on at that time too.
Will there be cake?
Yes, most definitely.
If it's an anniversary,
Yes.
birthday, whatever you want to call
Yep.
it. So let's talk about the July 3rd event. Will that be outdoors?
Yes, it will be downstairs in our lower level parking ramp or lot, and we will have the preserves playing, and then we will have a lunch that people can purchase to partake in.
Awesome. I know that there are other things that happen at 125 Live. But can you share a little bit more about the social groups and other offerings?
Sure, we have social groups, everything from quilting to technology, photo editing, sharing, exploring photography. Ham radio is a new one that started this year. It's very popular, to over 100 fitness classes a week. So we have everything and anything under the sun for members and people from within the community to come and see.
I love how activated 125 Live is. It's really, bridging connection, getting people socially active, getting them out of their house, doing fun things. Why do you think 125 Live is such an intricate part in the community?
Just for that reason, we are offering them classes to exercise, to social groups that can meet a variety of their needs, whether it's getting up-to-date medical information or just getting together with the girls and doing a quilting project or learning about ham radios. We offer a little bit of everything, which appeals to the masses.
And I noticed there's a treadmill where you can walk and look outside.
Yep.
Anything else you'd like to share?
We are open 7 days a week and always looking for new ideas, presenters to come to us and share with our members. So if you have an idea or know somebody, give us a call and we'll see what we can schedule.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on the show, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And to find out more details about 125 Live and events, you can check it out on their website. This is Danielle Till with Our Town Spotlight.
Hello once again, this is Michael Wojcik with your Our Town Legislative Rundown. About 10:30 on Sunday evening, Senator Jeremy Miller interrupted proceedings to announce that the Minnesota Timberwolves had defeated the Denver Nuggets. There was a brief moment of celebration and applause, and let's just say it went downhill from there. Now, the chaos that ensued was largely due to the fact that a number of bills had been backed up to the last minute, and the legislature had to be done with their business by midnight that night. And as it turns out, not everything did get done, but a number of bills did pass. The chaos came about really because of three things that contributed to delays. First of all, there was some internal fighting in the DFL Senate over Uber and Lyft legislation, where one of the senators backed out in proceedings and the DFL did not have the votes to advance some of their agenda. Secondly, there was the fact that a DFL senator had previously been charged with a felony, and there were a lot of interruptions of other business to try and bring ethics complaints and stop her from participating in the bills. And finally, there was effectively in both the House and the Senate a GOP filibuster aimed at slowing down business so some of these bills did not become law. In the end, the DFL took some procedures allowed by the rules to stop discussion and pass a number of bills. In fact, a number of these bills were combined into one really large bill that passed on partisan lines near the end of the session. There was even an attempt to approve a cash bonding bill that in fact did not happen because the final reading was not able to be executed before midnight. In fact, it was just a portion of a minute after, but the Constitution is the Constitution. So absolute chaos. A number of bills did get passed. I'm continuing to look at those, and I'll look forward to reporting on exactly what's happened that's going to affect Rochester. Thank you. This has been Michael Wojcik with your Our Town Legislative Rundown.
This is Danielle Till with Our Town Walkabout. We're at Flapdoodles in Rochester, Minnesota Northwest, and I'm here with Matt Tierney. Hi.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about Flapdoodles.
We've been in Rochester 13 years, and interestingly enough, Flapdoodles comes from the name of my dad's boat. I grew up in Alaska and thought it was a clever name, a fun name, and it also means foolish talk and nonsense, so there's kind of a theme there.
I really like that, and not only is there foolish talk, but there's really good ice cream.
Well,
let's dig into that a little bit.
Yeah, we make all our ice cream homemade. I have a great production team. We make it at our South store, and we're constantly coming up with new flavors and new ideas.
So how do you come up with the new flavors? Do you get suggestions? Do you kind of go home and create some things and then test it?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's a lot of combinations, customer recommendations. My wife and I, whenever we travel, we check out places, see what's out there, check websites, check ingredients, and sometimes we build a flavor from the ground up, from what ingredients we have available. So there's just a myriad of options.
All right, what's the hot new flavor of summer?
I would say we have a homemade strawberry rhubarb crumble, which is really exciting, and also Oscar's Neckapalooza has been a big hit as well.
And you're open year-round, which I love.
Yep.
It's especially a hot spot in the summer. Tell us a little bit about kind of the vibe. I know that sometimes there's a line right outside the store.
Yeah, it can be crazy, especially at the North store. The drive-through can be just nuts, but there's a lot of energy. It's fun to see people in line just having fun.
Awesome, thank you so much. This is Danielle Till with Our Town Walkabout.
We are joined today by Bill Von Bank, VP of Marketing and Communications at Experience Rochester, here to tell us about the Sip and Savor Pass and about how Experience Rochester is working to make our city a destination for visitors. Welcome back to our town, Bill.
Oh, glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Well, I'm really excited to have you on to talk about the Sip and Savor Pass. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. The Rochester Sip and Savor Pass is a free pass that anybody can take advantage of. It's a way to support the craft beer industry in Rochester. We have 5 amazing, award-winning, highly rated breweries in Rochester, and there are many restaurants in town that also pour local. So we created this pass to really support the local beer scene in Rochester. We know that coming out of COVID, that the craft beer industry took a little bit of a hit, and we want to make sure that our industry in Rochester stays vibrant. So this is a really cool pass. You can just go to our website, experiencerochestermn.com/brewpass, and you can sign up for the free pass, and then you'll get a link sent to your phone, and then you open the link on your phone and you're all set. And you visit the various breweries or restaurants that pour the local beer, you check in, you earn points, you win prizes.
Can you tell us about some of those prizes?
Sure. So the prizes are they're based on points. So the first prize at 300 points are some Sip and Savor coasters. to enjoy your local beer. And then once you get to 1,000 points, a little bit bigger challenge, a little bit nicer prize, if you will.
Not a bucket hat,
You get a
Bill.
bucket hat, a branded bucket hat. So these are really cool. And you can, once you meet the challenge of the different points, then you'll be notified where to pick up your prizes, which you actually will do right at the Mayo Civic Center at our guest relations desk anytime during the week.
Excellent. To go back to the breweries, actually, because I think people would be surprised to know that some of our breweries are actually nationally recognized. Can you tell us, can you name the breweries that are participating in this?
Sure, all 5 are. So you have Forager, you have Kinney Creek, you have LTS, you have Thesis Beer Project, and you have Little Thistle. And you're right. I mean, they've all have had some significant award recognition. I think of, for example, Forager, when they have some major beer releases, people fly in. I mean, from all over the country for these beer releases. So you have that audience, you have a visitor audience coming. They bring new money to the community and they spend money throughout the community. So that's a win for the community.
Excellent. In terms of Experience Rochester, you've been here before. Can you remind us what your role is in the community and a little bit about some of your goals as an organization?
Sure, we actually have a dual role. We are the destination marketing organization for the city of Rochester, which means, short and simple, we do the tourism promotion for the community. Secondly, we have a contract to manage and operate the Mayo Civic Center. That's 200,000 square feet of event convention space. So that's our dual role, and both roles are to bring visitors or conventioneers to the community, which helps spur economic activity. So that activity keeps us quite busy. And really what we want to do is continue to drive more business to the community, more people staying in our hotels, more people visiting our restaurants. We see that a lot with our conventions. We can track economic impact as well. One big one is the Christian congregation of the Jehovah's Witnesses that comes for 5 weekends throughout the summer, and we know that our restaurants really look forward to it, our retailers look forward to it, and the economic impact around a convention like that is over $6 million to the community.
In terms of those types of things, how do you work with businesses and organizations to let them know that such a large number of people is coming and sort of what to expect around this events?
Yeah, the good news is some of this is repeat, so they can prepare for it. But we have what's called a high volume alert that we put together. So any convention that's coming to town that will have room nights of a certain amount or attendance of a certain amount, we'll document that, and then we'll share it out to the business community to say, hey, be prepared. You might see business during this week or during that week because there's a lot of people coming to town.
In terms of the other outreach that you do, I know you have a guide. Can you tell us a little bit about that guide and how visitors can find it?
Hot off the press is the Experience Rochester Insider's Guide. This is a free guide that we produce. It is advertising supported, so that's great. So that makes it free for the community. Anybody who wants to come. For example, we just shipped a pallet to Mayo Clinic. So, I mean, it's widely used by everybody. The cool thing about it is it's not your typical visitor's guide with just listings. It's a lifestyle guide. So we have features in here on the people that make Rochester cool or unique businesses. The co-owners of Our Palette Are, for example, are featured in here, or Jersey Joe's is featured in here, or the people who make arts really cool, like Misha Johnson from Civic Theater or Pam Hugdahl from the Art Center. So it's really a cool guide. It's free. And we also have an online guide. So this printed guide you can also read online at experiencerochestermn.com.
Thanks for sharing that. I love how you said that there's a focus on the people that live here and the people that make this the place that it is. In terms of that, I know you have an annual meeting coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about the theme of that and sort of the importance of thinking about the community message around what this place is as you're talking to visitors?
Sure. Our annual meeting is, obviously we report out the prior year and bring in some speakers, and Mayor Norton always comes and speaks as well. So it's an interactive annual meeting, but the theme is really appropriate based on our conversation we've been having today. It's called It All Starts with a Visit. And the theory behind that, it's not really a theory, it's fact, is that a visit can turn into residency. Somebody who visits a community, any community, could decide they like it so much that they want to be a resident. Well, guess what? They might want to work there. They might want to own a business. And it's just that life cycle of it all starts with a visit. The purest form of economic development is tourism and visitors to your community.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Bill.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. I hope you learned as much as I did about all that's going on in our city and all the wonderful people making it happen. For more content produced right here in Rochester, please be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter at #OurTown. I'm Nicole Fenoy-Amhara, host of Our Town, the show about Rochester. We'll see you next week.
Then let's go ahead, check your props, and we'll go right to the top of the show.
Not for you. We've been trying to ruin the experience.
Yeah, make sure we're on the same page.
You are rather cute, but...
Well, she's not my wife. What? You walk the streets on the arm of a beautiful... All right. Yeah, if Jamie's ready, we'll go right into the...
Hey, sire. Here, let's ask this random peasant.
When you hear the bells go ting-a-ling, all join round and sweetly you must sing. And when the verse is through, let the chorus all join in down.
Upon a weeping willow tree, and may the world go well with thee.
Bye-bye, Bucky.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.